Sunshine family, and how much does it cost to live in Costa Rica, the cost of living in Costa Rica? I am bombarded with this question and related questions, so yeah, I already promised it in my previous video. This is what I will be covering in today's video. Hey, if you haven't met me before, I'm Muriel from the Sunshine family, married with Dirk. We moved to Costa Rica in 2018 in October, and it has been the best adventure ever. And you know, I will not pretend that I know everything, but I do promise that I share everything that I've learned, you know, being an expat mom living here in Costa Rica. So before I will dive into the cost of living in Costa Rica, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, this might be the perfect moment to do so. You'll see a little icon here on the screen, and if you tap it, you see like a subscription invite, and if you also hit the bell icon, you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video, and that might help you find more information about Costa Rica, being an expat in Costa Rica, moving to Costa Rica in general, on your own or as a family. So yeah, welcome back. Today I thought about this for quite a while. What's the best way to share, you know, what is the cost of living in Costa Rica? How much does it all cost? Well, I decided to cut it down in little chunks, and first and foremost to share the cost that we have as a family of 4 with 2 growing up children living at the Peninsula de Nicoya on average per month. So while my dogs are running around me and the sun is a little bit changing, it's getting at the end of the day, let me get started with sharing about rent prices, right? So assuming you're coming here with a family, 2 children who do not want to share a room, so you need a 3-bedroom apartment. It starts with this as a tricky part already, because up to 2-bedroom apartments, you know, the price is can be very negotiable, right? There's many 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, so it's quite easy to find more or less a rent up to $800 exclusive bills, water, electra and gas, but just rent, right? But when you want to all have their own bedrooms, you come in a zone where there's not so much negotiation possible, just because I don't know, it's just a fact, take it as a fact. So what we found is, if you want to have a nice 3-bedroom apartment, not too tiny, with some luxury like a pool, more or less, if it's a nice house, quiet, a little bit in nature, like, you know, with some good standards, not too luxurious but also not too crappy. I don't know if that means anything to you, but this is all what we paid. We paid for about 8 months, a very nice house. It was new build. We paid $1,500 inclusive bills, okay? What do you have to expect according to bills? Well, bills are built up like gas. Gas is more or less, it's a bottle, right? There's no gas lines in the ground here, more or less. It's in general a big gas bottle, and it's on average about, I think, around between 6,000 and 8,000 colones. On average for a family, you can use it for about 1 to 2 months, okay? So let's say on average 5,000 colones per month for gas. Then we have electricity. It's all depending on, of course, if you have air conditioning, if you use it a lot, but on average, in the very first house that we rented, it was so super warm. Our daughter used the air conditioning the whole night, and I was working in her room because it was so warm, almost a couple of hours per day, like 5 hours per day. So we used the air conditioning a lot, right? On average, our monthly expenses of electra, and we didn't have a pool in that house, we just used, you know, average lights, about $150 of electricity. That was quite expensive for a small house, but it was the air conditioning. Now after that we rented a house also without air conditioning, but it had warm water and the boiler which heated that water always, and that was more or less the same price as the electric bill in the house with air conditioning. But like on average, now we have a house with natural flow of breeze, so we do not actually need air conditioning. Now we pay as a family of 4 more or less 80 bucks, but we do not have a pool yet. We do not have a boiler that's working 24/7 to keep that water flow heating up, and we don't have air conditioning. Now we pay more or less between $60 and $80 per month with a family of 4, sometimes less. So I want you to write those numbers down. So rent more or less between 1,000 and 1,500, Electra between 60 and 150 depending on your family's, needs. And also, of course, where do you live? Do you live in the mountains where it's cool and wet and chilly? Do you live in Santa Teresa area where it can be super warm? It's all variation, so you cannot pin me on a specific amount of cost. Then water is on average not expensive here. If you have public water, we pay in general for a public water for a family of 4 without having a pool, with normal use of water. We do not like to spend water or play with water all day, because they say, water is the gold of Costa Rica. We respect the water. We are easy with water. I just paid for 2 months in a row now 6,000 colones. That's more or less, that's not even 20 bucks per month, right? So that's not even 15 bucks per month. So water is on average not expensive, but you never know if the prices change. That's why when you want to buy property or you bought property, it's always smart to dig your own well and to install pump installation, so you can always rely on your own water, especially when you want to rent out your houses or you're going to share your property with others. If you want to dig a pool or 2 pools, your own water is gold. But that's not for this video. So I talked about rent, Electra, water, the gas. Did I talk about the gas? It's a gas bottle, like more or less 8,000 colones in the supermarket. You exchange it for your bottle. I'm not sure if it's 6 or 8,000 colones, but that's more or less 15 bucks. And we use it more or less 1.5 months, and we make dinner at home and we use it a lot, right? We do not go out for dinner. We live here, right? We have growing up kids, they go to school, we just make dinner. So yeah, then you use your gas more often than when you would go out every day. Then you have your travel and health insurance. Again, it depends on your situation. Do you have chronic diseases and you have to insure yourself quite high? There's travel and health insurances like more than 1,000 bucks per month. But on average, this is hard to say on average. I'm gonna share what we pay. We are from the Netherlands. We pay for a Dutch travel and health insurance more or less $600 per month, a little bit less than 600 for 4 people. So the kids are free, right? We pay as adults, the kids are up to 18 more or less for free, and we have multiple packages. So we do not have our dental care because the dental care is super good and easy to pay cash here compared to Europe and the United States, and it was impossible to insure the teeth because that made the monthly amount like 3 times more. That's the only thing we haven't insured. So this is a Dutch policy. This is called OOM, O-O-M. That's only for Dutch citizens available, or if you work for a boss, for a company, a Dutch company in Costa Rica, you're able to get that insurance. Or as an expat, temporarily as a Dutch citizen, well, so if you're from the United States, this is not appropriate for you, but I'm just telling you, this is more or less what I pay. What do we get for this? Also, for when family members would pass, like in the 1st or 2nd degree, we get free flights back home. So this also ensures like emergency in the family back home. So you do not have to always have back pocket money. We just love that, and insurance companies just booking our emergency flights and fly us back home. And it sounds terrible, but I already had to use it because my father passed away, and I had no worries. I just called the emergency line of my insurance, and they said, okay, no worries, we put you on the first plane home, and they booked me 3 flights home. Dirk stayed here with the dogs, and I could go to the Netherlands to bury my father together with my 2 children, and that was like back and forth to the Netherlands and back to San Jose. It was all paid directly by my insurance. Also, when my children break something of others, it's insured. Even when my dogs break something of others, it's insured. My health, it's insured really, really well. My package is a little bit higher because we are not planning to come back to the Netherlands, so we had to say this is a temporary package, and in between leaving and when it ends and I get a chronic disease, they will not pay for that chronic disease. But if you decide to do like an unlimited expat insurance, it was a little bit higher, but they will insure all future diseases that I don't want to think about becoming sick, but they will cover everything. So health, I take that pretty high. There's nothing more valuable than your body, you know. My body's my temple. What's more insured? I think that's basically it. So we're pretty high insured in health care, and you can decide how much you want to is your limited amount that they're gonna pay for you, their packages. So if you are traveling by yourself to Costa Rica, you're gonna live here and you've never been sick, you know, it's easy, you take the lightest package. But like, we have 4 chances of, you know, I have a kid who bikes, I have a daughter, she does show jumping with horses, like we surf, we do kickboxing recently. We need our insurance, so $600 per month is what we pay. There's multiple international expat insurances to find. Take your time to do your due diligence, and you might find one for $100 per month. I know that they are existing, but check what is covered. Like for us, it was really important that, because my father, you know, it was likely that he would pass away, unfortunately, and it happened. So yeah, we benefited a lot from that insurance. And also, yeah, we have elderly people in the Netherlands who are friends and family. Yeah, so we wanted to cover that. So make up your mind what's important to you. Go and do research, okay? Then we have 2 growing up children who are in the age of going to school. We are not homeschooling our kids for personal reasons. Our children go to a private international school, and on average, if you Google in Costa Rica private international schools in the area San Jose, it's pretty likely that you pay around $1,000 to $1,200 per child per month. So perhaps now you're shocked, but it's the naked truth. Our international school here in at the Peninsula de Nicoya near Santa Teresa is both kids. They're a little bit different in age, so they're a little bit different in price. We pay $1,100 every month for 2 children, inclusive food plan. So it's including snacks, fruit, meal, and some drinks, right? Did you wrote it down? If you have school-going kids, an international school is more or less priced this way. Public schools are free, but it's going to be your choice if you want your kids to have an education where there's IB, which is very, very important for older child, and also in an international community. And yeah, our oldest was already 14 when she came here, so yeah, we had pretty high standards according to education here. So that's the education. Then the school bus. I don't know where you will be living, but we do not live super close to school. In the beginning not, then it was an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon. It's not doable for us. We decided to back and forth bring them because your vehicles break down, it's gasoline, like driving over the roads here. You will see when you get here, in the rural areas with the dirt roads, it's more expensive to drive yourself than to pay a school bus company. And this is the price on average for our kids, $112 per month for the school bus in the morning, in the afternoon, 5 times per week. And we live more or less 15 minutes drive from school. I know that the children who live like an hour drive from school pay more or less $200 per month per child. Okay, so write it down. That's the transportation. The gasoline of your car. Now this is all depending. Do you have a car? So this is all monthly expenses, right? Do you have a car? Do you have a quad? Do you have a motorbike? Or don't you want to have your own transportation? It's easy to skip this part. Then this information is not appropriate for you, but I still mention it because it's my expenses, and I want you to know the expenses of, you know, the cost of living in Costa Rica. And just for you to know, after walking away from this video, that you know how much it costs to live here. So we pay, on average, we have an old car, an old timer, that drinks gasoline 1 liter on 2 kilometers. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the naked truth, right? But we pay super less taxes for that car because it's an old timer. It's valued at crap, more or less. It's a car from 1974. The reason we bought that car, I'm gonna share a little bit later, one-time purchases for like transportation, quad vehicles, blah blah blah. So you get like an idea about that and what we spend. But yeah, Dirk is super handy. He sees his Range Rover as like a big motorbike, which he can fix himself. I'm not sure if you heard that sound, but I just broke the starter's engine, and we have this car guy, you know, parts guy living near Gracia, and he just Dirk picked up the new starter's engine, an old-timer starter's engine of Range Rover. He put it in and he fixed the car. So that saves us a lot of monthly costs on average to car mechanics, right? But you have to have your buffer for car mechanic cost if you have a car. We pay on average per month, but we don't drive the car so much because we use our quad and our motorbike also a lot. About $100 gasoline per month. We pay for the quad more or less $60 per month gasoline because we drive for the short pieces the quad because the roads are so bad. The quad is much faster and it saves our car. We only use the car if we need to drive to San Jose, if we have to pick up family from the airport, if we need to buy stuff or furniture, or, you know, if we go to a friend's house with the whole family and the dogs. That's more or less why we use the car. We don't use the car for everything. We rather use the motorbike and the quad just to save expenses and to be faster from A to B. For the motorbike, it's more or less $20 per month, but I think even less, about $10 per month on average. We just bought the motorbike, we're not sure yet, but I think it's between $10 and $20 per month on average on gasoline. Then again, if you have your own vehicle, you need to maintain it more than once per year. A quad, I bring my quad every 2,000 kilometers, and that's more or less once per 2 to 3 months. More or less once per 2 months to the Honda dealer where I bought it new, and it cost me not that much, like $30. And they totally clean it, they clean my oil, they fill up my water, they wash it, they polish it, they check it, they check my brakes, everything, right? My engine, my lights, everything. Also just to prevent that the vehicle will die from the inside, especially in the ocean areas. The vehicles die from the inside of the corrosion. How do you say that? The salty wind, the dust, the mud, the hard conditions that vehicle have to live in Costa Rica, right? So one-time purchase prices. This is something to make a difference. Oh, guys, hold on, my doggy. So we bought our Range Rover second-hand 1974. Dirk with 2 right hands can fix it. We paid $6,500. Super old car. But the opposite, we bought a brand new ADV. The Honda dealer, $11,000. Brand new with a big box, with a little seat, 4-wheel drive, and a pretty strong engine. the 500 something version. It was the newest that time, $11,000 without a doubt, because I thought I have to drive up the hills with my kids, with dogs. It needs to be safe, and all the quads, they sell them second hand here. You don't know what's on the inside. They all are polished when they're for sale. They drove like thousands and thousands of kilometers, and they can break down any moment. Okay, so new one. A new motorbike. Motorbike is the cheapest transportation vehicle in Costa Rica, according to gasoline, maintenance, and price in paying it. We paid $2,000 new, okay, at the Honda dealer. Then, visa costs. Don't forget that you have a tourist visa if you do not have a residency yet, or you're not willing to apply for it, or you cannot apply for it. You need to go on visa run. You can go with your own transportation, but we always use a service called a border run or a visa run, and that's $100 per person in a little minibus shared with others. It's more or less 8 people, 8 to 10 people. It's quite convenient. It has air conditioning and Wi-Fi, and it drives you from 5 o'clock in the morning to the border of Nicaragua, and same day return back to, and drops you off where you hopped on the bus, more or less close to your home. You pay $100 for their service, and that's exclusive the price that you need to pay for your border run papers, and that's more or less $25 per person, 25 to $30. So that is on average for 4 people, right? That is on average. You have to go every 90 days. 4 people have a solid amount of $143 per month for 4 people on monthly, on monthly basis. Okay, 143 to use a visa run service, because we don't want to think, we don't want to drive, we don't want to break our car on the way, we don't want to be stopped by Traficos, the Trafico police, who give you a hard time. We just decided to sit back, read a nice book, download some next Netflix series, or stare out of the window and do nothing day. Okay, then let me see, I didn't even talk about food yet, right? Okay, we have dogs. We have 2 dogs. You see them running around. They're big dogs, right? Dog food. We don't take this lightly. We don't buy the cheap dry food. We buy fresh, raw food, and we cut it ourselves. We blend it with rice and carrots and coconut oil and bean meat, muscle meat, and organ meat. And we pay 20,000 colones per week. That is on average per month $160 per month. Dog food only. If you don't have dogs, not planning to have dogs, skip this chapter. It saves you a lot of monthly expenses. Flea pills are super expensive here at the Peninsula de Nicoya. I don't know how it is in San Jose, but here they're pretty expensive. On average, flea pills, $80 for 2 dogs per month. The heartworm pills are super cheap. They're more or less $8 per month for 2 dogs. Okay. Then we have, you have a life here. If you want to go living here and you go to a yoga studio, a gym, or whatsoever, you're gonna go to a club, this is more or less what we pay. We pay per month for our youngest kickbox club twice per week, $50. We went to the gym, now we recently started to kickbox too. Dirk pays $50, I pay $50 per month. So that's already for 3 people, $150. Our daughter does horseback riding. Now on average, a horseback riding class is more or less between $25 and $50. But for us, it's a different story. We own our own horse, right? So I'm not sure if you want to hear the prices of that. Let me just go ahead with the shopping expenses. If you just buy your food in the shop, and then let's see if we have extra time to cover that, because I'm already at 22 minutes and I don't want to be boring, right? So, okay, a family of 4 in the area Santa Teresa. I rather go to the little town supermarkets where the locals go. I do both. I go to the local markets, I go to the organic markets. That's of course on average, you pay more for organic food than for the local Tico market food here because of the quality, etc., etc. There are supermarkets with different names, with different prices. On average, for 4 people, right? On average, and this is hard to say because I haven't kept up real notes, but I know what I spend every time that I have 1, 2, or 3 bags full. It's about $300 per week, easy with 4 people, easy. I'm not even counting when you go out for dinner, just for your average shopping, your bread, your veggies, your groceries, everything. So that's more or less $1,300 per month, okay, on average for 4 people. If you're by yourself, it's super easy, just cut a potato and make some salad. But 4 people, and we don't count every colonne, so it's more or less, but let's say $1,300 to $1,500 without even thinking about too much. But we pay attention to not buy European cereal brands. There's lots on, here's where you can go wrong and easily double this. If you pay imported things, like cereals, like rice crackers, like pasta brands, you can choose the local brand, you can choose the international brand. Choose the local brand, of course. Otherwise, you're gonna be increasing that monthly grocery expense. For sure. That's what we did in the beginning. Like, my kids were choosing the chips and the snacks and they just threw it in the basket, and I was like, what the heck? Why do I have to pay $200? And then I started to look at my little bills of that supermarket, and then I saw that exponential, incredibly high prices of a bag of chips that can easily be like $6, while the Tico version is like $1.50 or $2. You got me? Okay. So did you write it down? I think that more or less. No, I forgot stuff. Like, if you have animals like cats, dogs, you need to have a budget for the vet. Joey had a thick ear. I need to go to the vet, and I needed to pay 40,000 colones for a checkup. It's more or less $80, right? And then exclusive a pill or an injection or whatsoever. I don't know how healthy or sick your animals are, but if you adopt animals, you have the responsibility to pay for the vet. You cannot say, I adopt a pet rescue dog like my black one and I'm not giving him heart pills or flea pills and worm pills and tick pills, because he's gonna be sick, right? And then you're gonna complain, well, it's a sickish dog. No, it's a responsibility, so have a budget for that. What is also important to know? Yes, taxes. Now, in general, if you're not have your own property, you do not really have to pay taxes. You have to pay your visa, more or less, right? But I'm not gonna cover, and it's not really that much. Well, actually, it depends on the property you have, how much it's valued, how much it's registered for. You also pay taxes for your property, but I'm not gonna cover that here. I'm just assuming you're a family. What are you doing? I think he's hunting an animal. I don't know if it's a monkey or a squirrel or something. But no, I think I covered a lot here. Now, I didn't count down how much everything would exactly be for you. But I do know, and it's exactly what one of my advisors told me, someone I interviewed, someone who lives here with kids. When I said, on average, per month, for like a standard life, not too fancy, but not too crappy, right? Yes, we like to rent a house with a pool, of course, a little bit close to the ocean, please. Yes, we need a car, we have kids, etc., etc. He said, more or less, on average, between $5,000 and $6,000 with school-going kids, international school. Yes, you definitely need it, but then you live quite a good life, right? So if you have more or less $5,000 and you do what we do too, like we go to local markets, we have different expenses. We are constructing, we're building 2 new houses here, right? So I don't even calculate that, because that's probably not you're concerned right now. You're thinking, what do I need to live an average life in Costa Rica? In my area, more or less 5,000 bucks. And then of course you can get it more down or you can get it more up based on the lifestyle that you prefer, right? Do you like luxury food? You like to go out and eat sushi in fancy sushi restaurants twice per week? Sure, you know, you can crank it up with thousands of dollars per month more. But I hope this video helps. That was a long video and the sun has been changing. Let me just move my camera a little bit. Hey, if you like my video, give me your thumbs up, share my video with others, and of course share your comment below. This was Muriel from the Sunshine Family, and if you haven't subscribed yet, do that below on the screen, hit the icon, but also there's a description under my video. I work online. If you wondered how can I earn more or less $5,000 per month on average online 100%, go ahead in the description of my link. The very first link leads to, you know, an explanation about how that can work for you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see your excitement about that. You know now more or less what to expect. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on my next video. I'm writing an ebook, by the way, 7 steps to move to Costa Rica, and I will start mentioning it when it's completed. I'm excited about this. This is a piece of my life work so far as an expat mom in Costa Rica, and there I have more organized information for everyone who wants to get it. Stay tuned, and yeah, thanks again for watching my video. This was Muriel from the Sunshine Family. Take care.